Hi, it's Martin from Steffi Promotions. As you can see, our next guest, Gav Mac, he's got some real good information about his next fight. Going to have a chat to him about boxing in general. So first of all, we'll bring you on. Gavin, thank you very much for joining us.
No problem. About time I got on these Zoom calls now.
I'm going to say there's been quite a lot of talk saying where's Gav Mac, and here he is. So we've got a lot of happy viewers. How's things? I know it's been over a year since you was last out. I know it was probably getting to the stage where you thought, is it ever gonna happen? Now it is, and it's not far away.
No, that's it. I mean, it's European title. It's been hanging over. We've been waiting for it, and then obviously with this pandemic, and you're thinking, is it going to happen? And then there's talk of it, and then you get these lockdowns, and it's just been a knock on. But obviously now we've got the green light with plenty of time. So 26th of March. So we'll go over to Spain and then pick up another European title.
That's what I like to hear. Do you know much of Andoni Gaga?
Yeah, I know what I need to know because, like I say, we've probably had over a year now, and I always watch his fights. Flick on. You know what I mean? When I need a little bit of inspiration, a bit of motivation, like when times I flick him on, watch him, and yeah. So I know everything I need to know, and as well, Steffi and Ray, they both. So we all know, we've all watched him. We all know what to do, and we're just putting it all together in gym and just working on what needs to be done fight night.
Have you been in the gym since your last fight? Last fight was Nathan Kirk, wasn't it? It was back in October in 2019. So it's been quite a while. Like, was there a time, like when lockdown first kicked in, where you actually thought, not being disrespectful, like, because you're 34 now, was there ever a time when you thought, you know what, it's just not going to happen?
No, I mean, with me, I enjoy all aspects of training. Like everyone who knows me knows, I train just for fun of it anyway. Something like if I'm bored, I'll just train. So I've always trained. Like I say, there was just that little spell where I wanted in the actual boxing gym, but I was always been training, doing my own thing. But I just want doing the boxing, but so everyone else was the same. So we're just doing a little bits at home, what I could do. It was nice to have a little bit of a spell. Obviously, we didn't want this much longer of a spell, but it was nice to not actually be in gym for a good few weeks, and then until we got the green light to go back in gym where pros could train, and then it's nice. But I've always been ticking over, doing what I can and as much as I can. So we just, like I say, just a year really where we've just had to just check it off. But it's not just me; it's everyone else. And saying that, I've had a year out, but I'm young. I feel like I'm still young to game. I mean, if I didn't, I'd say. And it's one of these where I know for a fact I beat this kid and push on. And I know there's still plenty of big nights and still a lot left for me to give.
I spoke to Jace Cunningham a couple of weeks ago, and he said, I think it was last February. You two went on I think it was a 10-mile run.
Yeah.
Was it Tenerife? And then at the end of the run, you both looked at each other and went, "This is our year."
We bring it up all the time at gym, and it was funny that because we generally I think we both had like plans what we were going to do. I had me up, he had some plans, and I can remember we were over there in sun running, both covered in sweat, buzzing our tits off. We said to each other, "It's our year, this, Jay. It's our year." He's like, "Yeah, it's our year." We're adamant we're going to be a big year. And then all this come about, and then it only like a couple of weeks I said, "No, but this year's our year, Jay. This year is our year." But like I say, it's not just me personally or Jay or any fighter. It's the whole world. Do you know what I mean? It's not just like I'm missing out. The whole world is, and you've just got to take what opportunities you get and what comes, and then make the most of a bad situation. And hopefully sooner or later it's going to be over, and we can get crowds back and get back to where we were before.
Like you said, it's not been ideal, but in a way it has been ideal because it's give you a chance to have some time with the family. Because let's be honest, last year you'd have gone for the European title, won that, then you'd have probably had who knows a world title. So but what you've done, you've been able to sit back for a year, train as much as you want to train, not overtrain, because what do you get from overtraining? And now, like Ray was saying to Steffi the other day, this is when it starts to ramp up. You're probably getting excited now that you're getting into camp. Like your meal plans are on, whereas last year you're probably able to just drift away from it slightly.
Yeah, I mean, we having that year and not knowing anything. It's like, and then you get this fight news and everything's back to where it is. You've got a goal. It's nice to have that buzz, that feeling like I've missed it. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's been a year, and a year is a long time when you're not having that buzz, that big fight news, the mental side, what goes through your mind, like you sacrifice so much as in food, family time, you've got to be selfish. I'm enjoying that. I mean, before you'd be like, oh, back camp starting, and you'd be enjoying it, but and when you have it taken away from you, and you realise how much you miss it, how much you want it, and now it's back, I'm enjoying it. And like when I can't eat, and I can't have sauce with my tea, I'm enjoying that now. Because I've missed it for so long, and so it's one of those like I'm appreciating every second I'm being back. I'm full-time pro. I'm back. Do you know what I mean? I've got my backers back. I can do what my dream is, and that's be a boxer full-time, train, and then go to Spain and fight for a major title.
No, it's great news, and like you said, I bet it's a bit like not so much your boxing debut, because it's been a while. It's like the nerves that you hadn't experienced for a year are back, and it helps you training as well, doesn't it? And the thing is, you got Ray, you got Steffi, who's just absolutely flying with Terry. So you're training in a successful gym as well. So it's great news for all the fans out there. When is the fight, and how do we get to watch it?
It's the 26th of March. I think it's a Friday. I think it's on Dazn. I thought it might have been on Sky, but I think it's Dazn. I think it'll be on the Dazn app. I think it's only $1.99, but you get a lot of the American shows, all the shows on Dazn, you get to watch them. It is worth it if you're a boxing fan. $1.99, I think it is a month. And like I say, even if you just my fight, I mean, a lot of people aren't all tuning, but it's one of those. This fight's what's going to set me back up for a big year, big last year or two in the big fights. I know I've still got a lot to offer, so I've been waiting this long, and I've got it now. I'm going to take it with both hands.
No, 100%. Well, you look at the potential matchups that are out there after the Gaga. Obviously, you don't look ahead of it. Look what happened the weekend with Josh. Do you know what I mean? You've got to keep your feet firmly on the ground. But that world title is you get this European title. Who says that a world title ain't next?
That's what I know how this boxing game works, and it works is you never know what's around the corner. I mean, I genuinely didn't believe I'd win a British title. When it come to it, I trained that hard. I wanted it that bad. I won a British title, and then you're moving up the ladder to the European title. I would have thought I would have won a European title, but you win the title, and then you pick your goalposts up, you move it, and then. But at the time, your confidence goes. So then you believe you. When you first start, I thought you said European champion. 99 times out of 100, I would say, nah, I won't be. But as you get better, you win the fights, you get better, the confidence comes. And by the time I got to a world title, I generally thought I was going to be a world champion, and that hand on my heart. And that's why when I got beat both times, that's why I was devastated.
But look at the people you lost to. Look at Vargas. He's still
World champion, yeah.
He's still world champion, still unbeaten. And the thing is, you can't ever come out that fight and say that you won, innit?
No. To be fair, for a fighter too soon, but with that momentum, how we got there that fast. Obviously, we'll never. I thought I was ready at the time. But obviously, a couple of fights more, and I would have been a lot better prepared. And then obviously, we got the Danny Roman fight, and that one I generally thought I was nailed on to beat him. It just shows there's always someone out there who is better than you on the night if you don't put it out at bag. And both times I've been beat, I can honestly say that I was beat by the better man. Do you know what I mean? There's no excuses in either. Which that there for me, I can sleep, I can rest my head at night and sleep. I've got no regrets in both those camps, both those fights. And that's what I've always been. I'm so dedicated, and that's how I'm going to be with this.
Have you obviously you speak to him all the while, but like, have you sat down with Jamie as well and spoke about like about the night coming up in Spain, and with regards to nerves, etc., and what to do and what not to do? Or
I think no, I've seen enough. I've been around, seen enough. I know for a fact I'll get myself physically and mentally where I need to be. And when you turn up, I've been in fight days, fight weeks. I've seen it all, so I know everything will just fall back into place like riding a bike. Obviously, there's going to be nerves and everything. Same for the other kid. But end of the day, it'll all just fall into place like it should do. And as long as I'm in the best shape I know I can get physically and mentally, it'll all fall into place. Fight night, fight week, everything. It'll just be like a routine again. You won't even know that I've been there for a year.
I watched your last fight against Nathan Kirk in Doncaster, and there was a lot of fans there, and the atmosphere was a good atmosphere. It was a good fight. I think it was a 4-4 fifth round stoppage, wasn't it? What do you feel about going into this fight with no fans? Do you feel like it's going to benefit you with being the away fighter?
I mean, everyone wants fans there, but it's the same for the other kid. He's got no fans, so all I've got to do, I'm starting mentally getting myself, like I've seen on weekend with Josh Warrington now, where it affected him. So I'm just going to take a little bit from that and start visualizing and getting my head around having no fans and get more sparring mentality and just start trying to get my head in gear for that. And I think end of the day, a fight's a fight, and how much I want it, I'll beat the kid. I know for a fact I will. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping in 6 weeks' time, Spain might be able to have a couple hundred fans in.
Me too.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice. Yeah. So I'm hoping I don't know how they are with their lockdowns and how they are strict, but it'd be nice if they could have a couple hundred. But if not, it's end of the day, there's me and him in there. He's got same as me, so it's one of those that I'll beat him either way, if there's fans or no fans.
Yeah, no, that's great. And also, you've got Steffi and Terry, because they've fought in these situations, in there. So like that Terry could probably give some kind of, because I think with the Harper fight, I think Terry got involved in a fight with Harper, whereas a last fight she just completely outboxed the girl. So it's one of them. Like, if you get to a situation where I don't know, like he catches you with something and you don't want to come across as you being hurt, like fighting back, you've got to have the kind of mindset to say, like, listen, is it me? Don't need to get into a fight. Don't need to turn it into a scrappy fight. I need to box the way I box.
Yeah, I think Steffi and Ray, Ray's been in a few of these bubbles. He's been helping out on a lot of shows, MTK shows and whatnot around country. So they've picked up, and I was talking to Ray, and he's picked up on things. So the closer the fight gets, they'll start sinking it into me, just so I'll sink in with me a little bit more. And there's not, like I said, I'm just going to get my head round no crowd, because I'm used to having crowd as such. But just get my head round having no crowd, and visualising and imagining and getting into the no fans sparring, that sort of situation, just so it's not a big shock when I get in there fight night.
As you sparring, have you been doing any sparring lately, or?
Yeah, we've been sparring. I've been sparring all the way through. Every other week we've been getting a few rounds in, helping kids out who've got fights, and they've been coming down. So I've been getting sparring in, but my sparring will start next week. Start picking it up and start getting rounds in.
Are you going anywhere special, like for sparring, or are you not allowed to say?
Yeah. Ray and Steffi have sorted all that, so we'll find out exactly who and where we're going. Yeah.
Oh, that should be exciting then. And going on to the weekend, what a shock!
Yeah, I tell you, like, they just shows in boxing. You never know what to call a number one fighter. Well, beat all them top guys, all them top names, and you would expect him to beat the lad. And I don't know if he did or what, or underestimated him, or a bit of everything. And he got beat. I was gutted for him. I would be for any British fighter fighting foreign fighters, but I know Josh, and it was a bad loss. Do you know what I mean? I just hope he's well and he comes back from it, and I'm sure he can win a world title again, no doubt about it, because he's done it and defended it how he has. He's obviously special, but yeah, it wasn't good to see.
Do you think the referee should have stopped it in the fourth round?
Yeah, yeah, he should have. At the time, I turned the boxing off because I was in bed, and I got a message off a good friend of mine, and he messaged me saying that should have been stopped. So my wife jumped out of bed and flicked, because we got a sky in bedroom, flicked it on, and obviously I watched the rest of the fight, and yeah, I was just like, wow, I couldn't believe it. And then obviously I was wide awake for another half an hour then, because obviously you're in shock.
Yeah, and I was gutted for Reece Mould as well, because I thought that was a cracking fight as well, but I just think Wood was probably a little bit too soon for him.
Yeah, I said to him early on in gym, experience is key, and Lee Wood showed it. But Reece did. He had spells. He looked well. And I said any other fighter fought British title, obviously not Ryan Walsh, but any other fighter similar level to him, he probably would have won. But he fought Lee Wood, who's being around the block now. He's had the big fights, and he knew too much, and it showed.
So just before we leave you, there's a big fight meant to be happening this year, apart from yourself and Gaga. Fury versus Joshua. What's your thoughts on that fight?
I think you can't knock back Tyson Fury. The man, do you know what I mean? What he's done is unbelievable, and I rate him. Do you know what I mean? And I think he'll beat Joshua. I do think he'll beat him. I think he's just got it in him, and I think he like I say, he's beat everyone, shown everything he's got. What I think he'll adjust to any style, and don't get me wrong, it's a massive fight, biggest fight. So, but yeah, if I would have to put my money on it, I would. Don't get me wrong, Joshua could beat him as well, but if I had to, my betting money, if I had to bet on my house, it would be Tyson Fury. I would never not bet against him. Do you know what I mean? He's one of them, like, my money would always go on him, whoever he was boxing, because he always finds a way.
Yeah, 100%. One of the questions we've been asked, Gav, was there any other fight in your career that you wished you'd done something different, or if you was to fight again, that something different had happened?
No, like I said, I haven't really got no regrets. I've won every fight, anything ever asked. I've always found a way, other than the world title fights, and like I say, I ain't got no excuses. That I got beat by the better men both times. Like I say, that not even in the fight. I mean, I could only do what I can do. I'm as good as I am, and they took away what I was good at, and they both got the win. It's one of those. If I thought, I mean, now with a Vargas fight, I might have been a little bit more experienced, but who knows it? It's one of those that I've got no regrets in none of them, none that count, no nothing. So no, I can't change no. I'm as good as I am, and at that time, that's all I could do.
No, and this is your time, Gav. If there's any sponsors out there that wanted to jump on board, what would they be getting from yourself?
It's just saying we everything else. I mean, you plaster the logos on your fight kit, and obviously when you're in bigger fights, more exposure. I mean, you can give them a shout out on your social media, on your interviews. I mean, a lot of my sponsors have always backed me. I'm good pals with them, good friends. You know what I mean? Like, we've got a relationship, and it's nice to have that support. And in this program, without that, mate, you're giving yourself half an opportunity. Like, the training full time, and I've done it this last year. I mean, I was going to work, I was doing my plastering, but then I went to the gym after. And don't get me wrong, I didn't have no fight dates, but I was feeling it. And Ray was saying to me and Steffi, I said, when we actually get a fight date, we're gonna have to not work on head. You know what I mean? So I'm lucky enough to have people behind me and people who back me, whereas it helps you and it gives you 100%. I'm feeling it now in gym because I'm full time, getting me rest. It is a massive. So I mean, for people to back sponsors, fighters, and give them that. Do you know what I mean? We all appreciate it, and I do recommend if people can help people out. I mean, in this current climate situation we are as well, any sort of help is massive because everyone's struggling. But I really appreciate everyone who backed me and is backing me. I really do. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I can never repay them, but hopefully with the wins, it's enough. Do you know what I mean? They're proud of me, and that's all I can ask.
No, it's great news. 26th of March, 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock at night. What are people going to be reading in the news?
They're going to be reading two-time, two-weight European champion from Doncaster has just outdone his brother by getting another blue belt and becoming number one in the family.
That's what I love to hear. Gav, thank you very much.
No problem, mate. I'll speak to you soon, yeah?
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.